Hi there, this is Pete Howard, Director of Concert Posters for Heritage Auctions.
And this is Garry Shrum, and I'm the Director in the Music Department here at Heritage, and we have some unbelievable posters to share with you today.
Yes, indeed. You've seen us cut videos before, but this one is really exciting. We are today cutting a video on the David Swartz Concert Poster Collection Part 2, which is coming up on Saturday, November 18th. And that is part of a 3-day poster and music memorabilia sale we're having on the Saturday through Monday.
Fantastic stuff. I'm just blown away at the great stuff that we've come up for this auction. And David's stuff especially is just, the condition is stunning.
Oh yeah, no, David's the best concert poster collection in the world, and we started back in May and had part 1, and it was a rousing success with a new world record for a psychedelic concert poster with a Hendrix flying eyeball at $175,000.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we're so tickled to be back with part 2 in the fall here, coming up, as I said, mid-November over the weekend, and David specifically, which is what we're doing today, will be on the Saturday. And so, Garry, I guess most people have seen this poster, haven't they?
Yeah, well, it's a piece of music history, isn't it? You know, Woodstock just changed everything for the size of concerts and the insane amount of people that could go to a concert and enjoy music all at one time and get along. And here's perfect proof right here. And having a poster in this kind of condition after all these years.
Well, it's the Arnold Skolnick famous, of course, big red Woodstock poster. But what's killer about it and so different is here it says, that's right, Wallkill, New York. I have never seen another one of these. Obviously, they transitioned from Wallkill over to Bethel, the final location, and they transitioned from David Bird, the poster artist, to Arnold Skolnick. Well, the transition had just started, so he actually created this poster, and they put in the original Wallkill information. All the bands are still there, although it's really fun. There's a couple little differences from people who dropped out or were added. So this is one of the most iconic posters, of course, of the 60s, and this is the rare early version from the Wallkill location.
Yeah, and again, first time we've ever seen it. All the years we've been doing posters, it's not many posters that come our way that we haven't seen, and we got one right here.
That's right, that we haven't seen. Needless to say, we've never run one. This is a Heritage first-time offering, so I really expect great things for this. It's just, you've got the dove on the guitar neck and everything, but it's got the wording up here for Wallkill. That just kills it, or wall kills it, if you will. So that's really a special one. Thank you, Tommy. Well, speaking of really a special one, let's lead with, there's so many monsters in David's sale, but this is a monster's monster. Again, some posters need no introduction. I think our first 3 don't need any introduction at all, but woo, the grade certainly does. Look at that, 9.8.
Wow.
Woo, man, that's killer.
And just that it's all these years that this poster's been handled so delicately to still grade at such a high grade is just unbelievable, because it's not like it's a little baseball card that was put away. This is a big piece, and I'm sure through the years somebody thought, I should just tack this up on my wall, but they didn't.
That's right, yeah. Something like this probably spent all of its life, certainly most of it, in a flat file or some kind of art, holder to protect it from outside elements. And so very few, 9.8, we set a world record with a 9.6 at $137,000 a couple of years ago, and now we've got a 9.8. Oh my gosh, near mint. And it's just, these, look, when they get to 9.8, I feel like saying they're flawless. I'm sure somebody with an eye loop or a magnifying glass could find some little flaw that CGC did, the grading company, but this piece from the David Swartz Concert Poster Collection is just, it's just magnificent.
Yeah, and it's just one of the best artwork from the 60s. You just look at that and you say, 60s, psychedelic. It just identifies the whole period, and it's just great. Stanley Mouse.
Alton Kelly.
And Alton Kelly, but Stanley was set up at a show just last weekend with us, and I looked over a couple of times, and people were in line with this poster to get it signed.
They were, in any printing.
Yeah, any printing in any condition.
Sure. But I bet there was definitely, I don't think there was a 9.8 in the building, though. No. This is a very rare, high grade, fantastic, just like The Hendrix last time got 175. Maybe this will reach that if a 9.6 got 137. But it's just a magnificent piece, and Heritage is so proud and happy. It's on the cover of David's catalog, and that's where it rightly belongs, because it's a piece for the ages. Absolutely.
And you can go online now and start bidding on any of these posters, because they all went live already. So it's pretty exciting right now.
We've talked about the front cover of David's catalog this auction. Well, here, this is the poster that occupies the back cover, because it's just as important. The other masterpiece of psychedelic San Francisco 60s poster art, Rick Griffin's Flying Eyeball in a also magnificent 9.6 grade.
Yeah,
oh,
fabulous.
My goodness. Yeah.
How radiant the artwork is. You know, just when you have a poster this old and it still jumps out like that, it's stunning.
I see this kind of red and blue on reprints and prints that were made later, but to have one printed before the shows, the first 4 days of February 1968, and to have it this rich and deep and radiant, again, this was a flat file home probably for half a century. And notice Mr. Rick Griffin has signed it down in the lower right corner. That is, I like to call a signed poster a cherry on the cake.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and especially when he's deceased. Poor Rick passed away, I believe, a third of a century ago. So to find one right there, the signature is at least that old, probably much older. And so to have such a masterwork signed by Rick and graded that 9.6, it's...
And what a signature. Him and Stanley, they had the best.
That's right. They didn't just sign. They had a stylized signature that actually adds to the artwork.
Sure. Well, they were proud of what they did, and they were proud of signing their name to it, and it shows.
Absolutely. So, once again, the David Swartz Concert Poster Collection, Saturday, November 18th, is when these fine things are going on the block. So, just wow. What can I say? And by the way, this is Garry. This is the first ever 9.6 Flying Eyeball signed by Griffin that's ever been sold at public auction by any auction house anywhere. So it's not like these are a couple times a year you have a shot at something like this. First ever, 9.6 signed.
It might be the last one we ever see.
Might be. So just such a treat, can't believe it. So what you got there on Jim Morrison and Company?
Well, another stunning poster.
Wow. Oh, this is one. Yeah, this is great.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
And again, look at the grade, 9.8.
9.8. Oh my gosh. You know, if you follow Heritage and if you look into a collection such as the David Swartz Concert Poster Collection, you might be inclined to take these high grades a little bit for granted. Oh, there's more 9.6s and 9.8s. These things are really, really hard to find in this grade. They just don't. You can't say they don't quite exist in this grade, but they're so few and far between.
Yeah, and it's just so cool that somebody took the care all these years so they can be graded, and you can bid on them and be your piece in your man cave or your wall or your living room or in your office. Is this one of the coolest posters? It's just fantastic.
It's just, I know that brooding picture of Jim Morrison, and was that an album back cover, inside cover? Do you know?
From the sessions from the first album, and the first tour, and which I got to see front row at Balboa Stadium. Cost me $1.50 and 3 Chicken of the Sea tuna fish labels.
And don't forget to tell people what city. They don't know where Balboa is.
San Diego,
California. There you go.
So they were just brilliant.
But this 9.8 is so sweet, and I love the fact also, once again, signed by the poster artist in beautiful silver pen is Randy Tootin. Yeah. So when you get a 9.8 or a 9.6 that's also signed, it's just nutso, the combination of great grade and sign. Quite often, sometimes when they go to sign a poster, they'll bump a quarter and it'll drop down, you know. But this is both, so it's just really a sweet, sweet Doors piece.
Well, since we're talking about the Doors,
sure, why not?
Let's talk about the Doors and the Yardbirds.
Ooh, man, what a combo!
9.8. One more time. Unbelievable.
Yeah, this poster pulls good money in any condition. It is one of the most popular of the Bill Graham titles from the 60s, and maybe Bonnie MacLean's most popular
Sure.
piece of art. And of course, she married Bill Graham. I think it was actually near this weekend. But people just love the 1-2 punch of Doors and Yardbirds and the sublime pastel artwork of greens and oranges and blues. I'm nuts about it, and I don't blow smoke. If I don't like something, I don't say anything. But I just love this coloring in this image.
It's radiant. It just glows.
Yeah, and again, to get the combination, it's like Muhammad Ali, a left and a right. 9/8, signed by Bonnie, who sadly is deceased. So once again, there's not any more getting signed. This is just fantastic piece. I'm just thrilled to death about this. Well, let's see let's go from that BG-75 to, let's knock off 50 points or posters and go to the rare BG-25. And this is the 13th floor elevator and Great Society. And it's a very popular but very rare poster. They had a couple of their 25 and 26 they ran on extra thin paper, and they probably ran lesser quantities, and so it's very tough to find in any grade. And an 8.5 is very, very respectable, collectible, and even investable.
Because of the paper.
Exactly.
They're easier to get damaged over time. But not this one.
No, not at all. It's just fascinating the way Wes Wilson, for his center image, used the lead singer of the second build group, because she was a lot better eye candy than Rocky Erickson. Oh my goodness. And look at this, Gary. Did you notice it says 13th floor elevator singular, whereas they were the elevators?
Right.
Well, that's the kind of mistake when a band first comes to town from Austin, Texas. That mistake's going to be made. Every San Francisco poster going forward had elevators.
Yeah.
But this is so early that it has them as a singular.
And just a stunning picture of Grace. She's just...
Wait, were there any pictures of Grace that weren't stunning?
Let's see.
That's sort of a redundant sentence, but yeah, no, she carries the poster, and the fact she's in the Great Society, it's just it's such a collectible, sweet piece. Absolutely.
Here's a nice one to share with everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Wow. First group I loved besides the Beatles. As a mid-teenager, I was so into Cream, it was crazy. Never got to see them, but this is, what's that, BG-110, I think, yeah. And it's 9.8 and signed once again. The 1-2 punch.
Yes.
Just magnificent.
And look at the size of that Stanley Mouse signature.
He'd love to do
clever.
it. He does it up big time. And, it's interesting because the band is Cream, and so Stanley decided to use cream-colored background on the poster. How clever is that? And then the backstory behind it is the fact that disc 2 of Wheels of Fire was recorded at these shows.
Right.
So whether it's Politician or Spoonful, granted they were long songs, but I mean, if you were into Cream in the 60s, you'd listen to them on headphones lying on your bed.
And if you're still into Cream now, this should be on your wall. This is just a great piece. Eric's out touring right now. We just worked with him with our Crossroads auction that's coming up. And what a great couple of days of music. And of course, there was a lot of 60s people there, like Stephen Stills was there, and Roger McGuinn. But then you've got this piece of history here. Just dynamite.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, just love it. I love the fact that music... Oh, that's yours. Go ahead and take that, Garry.
Sure.
The music recorded and the fact that it's 9/8 and signed is just nuts. So, as we make our way through the David Swartz concert poster collection, Saturday, November 18th, this is so fun and funny. BG-2, the legendary Batman concert poster, Wes Wilson's very first concert poster for Bill Graham. So what do I do? Where do I get an idea? Well, there's this new TV show, just a few weeks old, that everybody was watching in pop culture, Batman and Robin and stuff, and he comes up with this, and it's such a gem. Such a gem.
Well, it drew everybody's attention. Can you imagine this in the windows when people are walking by? It just stopped and like, wait, I just saw this show on TV. What's going on?
Yeah.
And it worked.
It piggybacked on a big new national phenomenon. I think it was ABC TV, the show, and got people's attention with Batman and Robin, even putting balloon word balloons to their mouths or heads. And the bands are all down here, though, and his Big Brother and the Holding Company, Quicksilver Messenger Service, Great Society with Grace Slick.
Yep.
They're all here. And then look, to get this early from the spring of '66, anything in the 9s is a home run, and this is a 9-0. It's a 9-0, and it's signed by, now we have to say, the late Wes Wilson. Yeah. We're saying the late a lot, which is not too pleasant, but it's the marching of time.
Right.
And he was a wonderful man. And there he is signed down there. So you have in the 9s, signed by Wes Wilson. First printing, of course. I never have to waste time saying that. That's about all Heritage carries. And it's very tough to find in any condition. And there's the repros, the seconds and thirds are out there a lot. But to get a first printing, meaning it was done early in '66,
yeah,
signed by Wes, just a Batman. That's something special.
Here we go with another Big Brother, but another band that just making the scene at the time.
Mm-hmm.
The name of Pink Floyd. And stunning artwork again. Just you look at each poster and how could they keep coming up with these ideas? And a 9/8.
Mm-hmm. Boy,
this is just
so
9/8. Cool.
Yeah, just wonderful. And you know what's extra significant backstory about this poster is that Pink Floyd were booked for 3 straight weekends for Bill Graham: BG-90, BG-91, and BG-92. Well, for BG-90, they didn't show up at all because of visa problems. For BG-91 here, they didn't make the first show, but they made it to the final show, and they played. So this represents Pink Floyd's first ever American concert.
Right.
And just makes it really, and to have Janis Joplin on the bill as well, that's crazy. That's just nuts. And the 9/8 grade is just a monster grade. So this is a really popular poster in any grade.
And something that a lot of people don't realize, Pete and I have seen a lot of these clubs. They were tiny clubs. They weren't big, giant halls like we see in the last 40, 50 years.
Mm-hmm, sure.
These were small places. To see a band like this, Pink Floyd and Big Brother, in a little small, intimate place like this,
mm-hmm,
and then have a poster all these years in this kind of condition.
Mm-hmm.
What great bragging rights you have, and what a great story you can always tell your friends.
Absolutely, sure. And what's interesting is I've been in the Fillmore recently, and of course it's probably considered a mid-sized hall, but compared to what Floyd ended up playing, like I've also seen them at the LA Memorial Coliseum, I think, or something, the Fillmore seemed like a closet, by comparison. And don't forget, of course, Syd Barrett was
that's right.
Was in the group as well. And but what did Pink Floyd become when they grew up, Garry?
Well, they became this.
Oh my goodness!
Oakland Coliseum.
Pigs on the wing.
A couple of people were there.
No Syd Barrett this time, but that's okay. You had Waters and David Gilmour, and an absolutely masterful design by Randy Tootin and his partner, and signed by Mr. Tootin down in the lower right corner. And holy flying pig, it's a 9.8. Oh my goodness, wow. Wow, this is such a popular 70s poster, and rightfully so. I mean, Animals was their new album, right, of course? Yeah. And to have the the Golden Gate Bridge showing up above the clouds and the flying pig, and
clever, just very clever.
Mm-hmm.
And again, finding it 9.8 and this oversized poster is just spectacular.
Yeah, it really is. And remember, you can put these into frames. Even with the plastic encapsulation, they go into frames. You don't have to bend or distort the plastic. Any framer can simply mat over the plastic border, and so it's graded high, and yet it's on a frame. Other people don't see the grading strip, they just see the poster. So that's, in fact, in this month's catalogs for the Sunday auction, I actually have a couple of pictures of slabbed posters that have been framed, and you can't tell.
Right.
Yeah. So,
look really cool.
Pink Floyd. Let's go from giant and colorful down to small and black and white, but even more influential than Pink Floyd. Yes, this is a different kind of selection from the David Swartz concert poster collection, and many say the master, and I'm pretty prejudiced toward Dylan myself, having seen him over 50 times in concert, but that's over half
50 times?
Yeah, that's over half a century though, so it's spread out, But, Dylan he's the rock star that other rock stars look at. And this is such an unconventional poster, but this is pre-psychedelia. See, there'd been not one psychedelic concert poster made yet. This is 64. but you can tell in the San Francisco Bay Area, which was always cutting edge, the poster designer said, I'm not going to just put Bob Dylan with the date and ticket price. I'm going to do weird, fun, different kind of stuff. And sure enough, like, you know, in a folk concert is printed about 1 million times there and all jumbled up, and you've got this unusual picture not of Dylan's face, and it's February of 1964, so besides Beatlemania raging, Bob's new album was The Times They Are A-Changin', which to me, that song, The Times They Are A-Changin', just encapsulates the generation even better than Blowing in the Wind or anything else.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, so it's a really important Dylan piece just because of its timing, and the fact that it's graded 9.6 because the Art of Rock thought enough of it. This is really unusual and fun and cutting edge and avant-garde. We're going to put it in the book.
Yeah.
So this is in the Art of Rock, and so it was able to be great. And CGC has graded only 2 of these ever, and the other one is less than this. This is the higher of the 2, the 9.6. So it's a special Dylan piece on a number of levels. Even though it doesn't show Bob's mug, it just captures him at such a time. And then it's got fun, detailed ticket information and everything. First and only Bay Area performance. First time he played in the San Francisco Bay Area. So this is really a cool poster.
Really great thing.
So, okay, so why don't I segue into another very unusual, interesting, different, risky, but super fun artwork. And that would be Janis Joplin in Chicago in the only full year of her solo touring, 1969. And get a load of that. A cartoon concert poster by Jay Lynch, a famous underground comics artist. And it's just, I don't know, works on so many levels for me. It's so different than any other concert poster.
Oh yeah, it's just exploding. It's just showing you can look at it, you know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's fabulous.
Yeah, I mean the caricature of Janis with belting it out and her slinky dress and miniskirt, I should say, and then you've got these homage. Look, was that olive oil or Popeye references, and these homage to other. There's the stoned guy, and it's just it's Jay Lynch.
Yeah.
What can you say? And yet it's advertising a concert saying, it's at the Auditorium Theater, and it's got the date, and it's got the this and that, and it calls her the Princess of Wales, W-A-I-L-S. How clever is that? Anyway, this is just really a fun, it's not graded because CGC doesn't grade this poster, but really a fun, different, excuse the blue tape, by the way, we should have taken that out, but remember it's coming Saturday, November 18th as part of the David Swartz Collection, and this one is just
great piece.
Whoop-de-doo. I just absolutely love it. What you got next?
Boy, we've got one of the best bands in the world, The Who.
Oh, I know you're super impartial.
Early on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're one of my faves.
Well, sure. Me too.
And look at that radiant orange and purple just pops. And again, 9.8.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Stunning poster.
Just like the Doors. I'll try that again. Just like the Yardbirds and Doors poster we've shown you, this is 9.8, signed by Bonnie MacLean, and a legendary band. And The Who were touring off The Who Sell Out, I'm pretty sure, at this point. And what's really fun about this poster, beside it being The Who, is that way down in the lower right corner, it plugs upcoming concerts at the Fillmore, and there is Jim Hendrix. Are you kidding me? Never mind experience, never mind the I on his name, it's just Jim Hendrix, really? Well, he would come along in a few days and change the world, although he already had at or was about to at Monterey Pop, so right. Just a killer 9.8 grade, and Bonnie MacLean,
just stunning.
Very special piece, yeah.
Well, speaking of Jim Hendrix.
Oh, yes, we were speaking of Jim Hendrix, weren't we? Let's get familiar and call him Jimmy. This is such a popular poster, and a tour blank concert poster is when they make a certain design and then use it on a tour and stamp in the cities as it goes along. Well, in Jimi's 3 full years of touring America and the world, they didn't have an American tour blank except once, the David Byrd one in early '69. So you've got all these one-off concert posters from Jimi playing America by local artists. And this one has just the most amazing backstory and appearance in its red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
And have you noticed a certain president of the United States on there?
Abraham Lincoln, right here in the center.
That's right, Abraham Lincoln.
Jimi noticed as well when he showed up to the concert.
He sure did. He absolutely did. You can see the full story in the online listing, but basically Jimi showed up at this concert, and he showed up at all his shows and seeing these individual posters, and he fell in love with this one, and he asked the promoter, who did this? Who's the poster artist? And the promoter said, well, would you like to meet him? He's sitting in the audience, or he's standing out there waiting for the show to begin. So he brought him in to meet Jimi, and the poster artist, Brad Cantwell, relates the story of what a good hit it was and for him, and a boost for him to meet the subject of his concert poster. And when the show was over and Jimi was moving on, he asked if he could have the leftover posters that were backstage, and he reportedly wanted to put them up in his hotel rooms going forward on the tour. There's no greater testimony to how cool a poster is than the subject loving it and wanting multiples for himself, and the subject being Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so you got this story, but you've got this incredible artwork.
Yeah, it's the red, white, and blue artwork. And again, Jimi even was impressed that Lincoln was on there. And it's just, I love the individuality of the local artists who had their own ideas. They weren't copying from anyone. And you just, once in a while, you hit a home run and got a masterwork like this.
And in amazing condition as well, like with the rest of the collection. You just can't believe the condition through the whole collection.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know, some artists do it for just $50 or free tickets. Actually, a lot of concert posters were designed for free tickets. Other artists, though, get mad and upset with the promoter they're designing posters for. So let's pull that one up. This would be a very good time for that. This is the final poster at the time that Wes Wilson did for Bill Graham. And they were having a bit of a money dispute, you could say. And so this poster is famous, Grateful Dead, of course, so it's automatically highly collectible, 9.6 grade, another killer, signed by Wes Wilson, which he must have needed a few years to start signing these. But he put a big $sign inside a snake's mouth in his design for his final Bill Graham poster. I don't know if he knew it was the final, I don't know if he was quitting or whatever, but it was the last one he did, and Graham quickly replaced him for the next weekend with Bonnie MacLean. But this is really hilarious. I mean, it's not even subtle. You'd think the $sign would be small and off to the side or something. It's like a big snake's jaws and a $sign. That's Wes Wilson giving the middle finger to Bill Graham.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, a 9.6 and a great story behind it. What a great piece.
Yeah, exactly. And signed by Wes real clearly in pencil down there at the bottom. Just a really key, beautiful piece. Just a lovely thing. Okay, here's one of my favorites, all-time favorite Fillmore posters, because I think it's quintessential. I think it has it all. And
it does.
Yeah, the purple and red colors and the two bands, the Airplane and the Dead.
And the clarity of the pictures. I mean, these are for early on, this is really a fantastic poster.
Absolutely, and the killer grade of 9.8 is just once again out of the ballpark. And I just love the way the purple and the red play off each other. And this is the first Bill Graham concert poster to use photos by Herb Green in this case. And they're just, it's got the rolling psychedelic lettering, but it's not too hard to make out yet. Right. Wes was still making sure everything could be readable. And the design, the two quintessential bands out of San Francisco, and the timing, you know, I just adore this poster. And what's interesting is the first printings, it's very hard to see Wes Wilson's printed poster artist credit underneath that August in the deep purple. So, but you know, collectors know that. They're not going to see Wes's name necessarily. So he took, and his signature sort of replaces what would have been his printed credit, and it's a beautiful signature, and not in pencil. It's actually in, I'm not sure if that's white or silver or light lavender purple. I mean, it's a perfect color match for his signature. So this and 9.8 and the Dead in the Airplane it's just, I think this is just a killer poster. I just adore it.
No, it's the history of that period. You know, these two bands made it happen, and they were involved with so many great concerts, and they were influencing all the bands to come after them.
Absolutely. So Wes Wilson, by the way, he's the dean of San Francisco concert poster artists. Before he kicked in and got started for Graham, who did Graham use as a poster artist, and what did it look like, Garry?
Well,
I've always got a segue in mind. That's my radio days from way back when. Segue.
Look at that.
BG-1, the first Bill Graham concert poster, done by Peter Bailey, who did one, and then I'm not sure what happened, but Graham probably said, I'd like a little more creativity in my posters, but I love this crazy central image of the combination horse and airplane.
Right.
You know, it's so in that way, it's edgy. I mean,
oh, very much.
Yeah.
Perfect for the time period. It just worked.
Yeah. But you know, so it's again BG-1, the very first Bill Graham at the Fillmore concert poster. There's no psychedelia. There's no opening act. Tickets were only $2. It's the beginning. It's sort of a seed of its own in its own right, and a monster 9.8 grade. Once again, let's not take these for granted. I mean, David Swartz is stepping forward with the best of his collection, and so we're seeing these 6s and 8s. And pity be the person who takes them for granted and says, "I'll get a 6 or an 8 next year." It's like, you know, these might not resurface for a long time. Yeah.
And you can go on our website right now and read more about all these posters we've been showing you, and start the bidding.
Okay. Yeah, so that's really, that's a sweet piece. Well, let's go from Peter Bailey there to the David Byrd back east, a masterful poster artist in his own right. And here we have Jimi Hendrix at the Fillmore East. And gorgeous psychedelic concert poster that is so popular.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wants this.
Yeah. Great artwork. And Fillmore East was a popular place, but only lasted a short time.
That's right, didn't last long at all. Got a lovely 9.4 grade. Those mid-9s are just really important on these key posters, and signed down here by David Byrd, which is really nice. So graded in the mid-9s and signed by the poster artist, key piece. I always thought it'd be fun if the opening act was mentioned on this poster, but they weren't. Do you know who they were?
I should not, but I forget.
Okay. Yeah, Sly and the Family Stone.
Yes.
We're the opening act doing dance to the music and stuff. So,
what a show that was.
Oh, exactly. So,
oh my gosh.
Just a beautiful masterwork for Hendrix. Absolutely. So, as we march on through, Garry and I are trying to count our posters and see how many we have left. This is a really super fun Grateful Dead concert poster. It's got two different nicknames: Acid. Well, there, I've already let it out. Acid Dropper or Berry Dropper, a little more commonly. And it's the Grateful Dead. This thing is an off the beaten path concert poster. Its visuals are so popular, and so it's got an 8.0 fixed upgrade. But this image, you just don't see it. It's just a remarkably popular poster, and it's the first time Heritage has had it for sale.
You just don't see it. For years I'd only seen images.
Yeah, exactly, sure. And I love the way when a poster's been repaired a bit, CGC does put a purple grading strip up at the top, and I love the way the purple strip plays off the man's purple outfit. So anyway, this is such a beauty, such a lovely one. Speaking of purple, or lavender, how's that segue? Maybe reaching a little bit, but the Boston Tea Party. So David Swartz has probably the world's best collection of Boston Tea Party concert posters, and he's parting with some for us. And this is the understated ethos of the Boston Tea Party concert poster artists, because unlike Bill Graham and Chet Helms, they were not trying to create an aftermarket where they could sell them for $1 each for years. It was like one and done. They would print small quantities, told as few as 500, and then they would just all be torn down and mostly thrown away after the gigs.
They just don't show up. I've seen a couple through the years, generally not in very good condition. Have them this nice a condition that David has given us is just remarkable.
Very special. In fact, before May's sale, we sold some David Boston Tea Parties in May. Before that sale, Heritage has had a grand total of 5 Boston Tea Party concert posters ever in our history. That's how few and far between they are and how scarce they are. And the Velvets, are you kidding? So influential. Everybody, the Velvets are so respected and revered now. So it adds up to just a really scarce, cool concert poster, as we do Boston again, right?
We follow up here with Fleetwood Mac and the James Gang, Joe Walsh's early band.
Yeah, that's right.
This is fantastic. And early Fleetwood Mac, way before Buckingham Nicks.
Sure.
And just a great, great period. If people don't know this period of Fleetwood Mac, they need to go back and listen to it. Because it's stunning writing and just great stuff.
Who was the guitarist right after Peter Green?
Well, Danny Kerwin took in, and then Bob Welch joined.
Right, okay, and Welch was the more hit single producer, but even he wasn't hit singles compared to Buckingham and Nicks, who followed him. But yeah, Fleetwood Mac, what a perennial band, named after their rhythm section, of course. And I like the Purple Arrow. I'm not an art major, so I don't know the exact description. I don't think it's Art Deco or whatever. There's probably a term for this where it's simple, understated, but this is 4 colors. Black, white, orange, and purple. Right. And it's presented in the way that really draws your attention to the band names and then gives the information you need to down below. Boston Tea Parties, special posters, and David Swartz always has a few goodies in his auctions, and that's what we're doing on November 18th.
What else you got over there?
Well, this is one of the best pieces from the David Swartz collection, absolutely. The Acid Test Graduation poster. Oh my gosh. Now, even people who never took LSD completely respect and love the acid era of the mid-60s in San Francisco. The Dead were so into it. Everybody was so into it. And to get this poster, which ended up changing locations, it didn't play at Winterland, but there's the Grateful Dead. The Merry Pranksters are on there. It's Dayglow Orange. It's fixed up 8.5 condition. Again, that's a lovely, lovely condition. This is the highest grade that's ever been auctioned on this poster. So it's that rare, and that rare to be graded.
I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, no, it's a super toughie, and I like the Marvel, the Marvel Comics-like character who carries the poster. So this one is really a sweet, sweet piece. So then, got just a couple left for you, but gee, what a monster. I don't like to do all the best first. I like to save a couple killers for the very end. And boy.
Absolutely.
FD1, the very first Family Dog concert poster. Oh my goodness. We showed you BG-1 a little while ago at the biplane. Well, this is FD1, a tribal stomp. This is the highest grade that has ever been sold publicly or auctioned, and that's largely because there's never been a 9.0 or better graded on this poster. They don't exist, at least yet. I can't say they never will exist, but it's late in the game now, and as far as getting them graded.
If you got one, contact us.
yeah, but I don't think anybody will. This 8 is a monster grade for this particular poster. Look, it was black and white. It was just for, it was so early and seminal, and it was, when the show was over, they were used as scratch pads and accounting things of the Family Dog itself. Everybody sort of tossed it away, but it's an absolute masterwork. It's just, the David Swartz concert poster collection, leave it to David to have this 8.0. And it is signed by the master down there, Wes Wilson, absolutely. And of course the bands, Garry, are no slouch either, are they?
Yeah, they're okay.
The Jefferson Airplane, you got the new Family Dog logo up there, and a tribal stomp referring to the people of San Francisco being the tribe or the Family Dog Collective, and the stomp being a name for a dance. So that is a real, why don't you take it over there if you would kindly. And one of the most beautiful women in American pop culture history, Vanessa Redgrave, will close out this video. This is the Grande Ballroom poster for which is called by Carl Lundgren, and it's called Vanessa for obvious reasons, and it's just a stunner. It might be the most popular Grande Ballroom concert poster for its graphics, with that pink and green and that swirling white above her, and naked woman embracing herself, of course, Vanessa. And it's just, I'm so pleased and so tickled to have this in the auction as well.
Yeah. Again, amazing condition.
Fabulous. Yeah, exactly. So, that's, boy, Got some super major special great stuff going on here. So once again, it is Saturday, November 18th for the David Swartz Concert Poster Collection, part of the bigger weekend of November 18 through Monday, November 20, the entire Heritage Auctions Music Department auction, with more concert posters on Sunday, other things mixed in like the Jerry Garcia collection and so forth. And
Yes,
great
we
vinyl,
have
great
fantastic
records.
stuff, and we do have other videos on our website. Some really other great ones talking about David's collection, and you should go there and see these as well, because we're just very, very excited to be offering such a fantastic collection.
Yeah.
And for us to be involved with this type of great material is very exciting for us. Sometimes we get a little crazy about it, but we just love it. And
Rightfully so.
Yes,
rightfully
absolutely.
so. So to see all the pictures, descriptions, and videos, thank you for stopping by, and just go to ha.com/7309.